You ready?
Yeah, good to go.
All right. Let's go ahead and start with the introduction.
All right, my name is Max.
I'm Max.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Jason.
I'm Christian.
I'm Nicholas.
And we here are Mullo Media. We are, of course, web developers, and we are trying to approach a market that we feel is untapped by many other web developers. For most web developers, they try to attract those that don't have anything, don't have a website, that don't have an online presence. We, however, want to be able to target those that already have something that can much easily be better. We want to be able to raise those businesses' online presence to the modern standard that consumers come to expect nowadays. Those consumers being able to use their site and be able to get to it with ease. We think that our unique view on the market, which we will explain in a little bit, will be able to help those small businesses attract fellow small business owners that are also within the typical market that don't have anything, and allow us to get a foothold within the market that we need in order to branch off and build ourselves within this market. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about our team.
Okay, so again, I am Max Muscora, and I am Chief Technical Officer here at Mullo Media. Standing next to me, of course, is Max Taylor, who is our Chief of Marketing here at Mullo Media. Victoria Jimenez, our Chief Executive Officer, and Jason A., who is our Chief Financial Officer. Christian Torrance over there is our Chief Operating Officer, and Nick is one of our head web developers.
So the problem is, well, how many judges, do you guys own small local businesses or know any small local businesses that doesn't have a website or has a website and isn't modern standard style today? Yeah. So here are some examples from Fresno that we, police, sheriff, and our own veteran museum. You may see they're not really up to date. So our solution is a small service that goes out to small local businesses that will optimize or revamp their website again, or just start from scratch from if they don't have one. Off to Maximus.
All right. So here at Mullo Media, we like to think that we're a bit different from other web developers, mostly out of necessity due to the fact that we target a different audience than they do. Mostly because of the fact that we literally have only 3 web developers, and we're all still in high school. So it's really hard to try to compete with these very large companies who have sometimes hundreds of web developers and hundreds of marketing officers along with management. And so this market that we're trying to tap into is one of people who have small businesses, but not necessarily don't want a website. They may have something, they might not, but they're not in the market, they're not looking. But here at Mullo Media, we try to use our strong sales officers, such as Jason here, who approaches small businesses directly with a sort of cold call approach in order to convince them that going with us will allow their business to take off into the stratosphere.
So we'll be reaching our customers through mostly face-to-face conferences so that they have a bond, or so they can build a bond with us that will show them the benefits of working with us.
And then onto our market size. For our total addressable market, which is our TAM right there, we want to be able to hit all the small local businesses within the California and Nevada states. So that comes out to 1.9 million, which with average web development costs comes out to about a $9.5 billion industry for web development from what we could see from average prices. Our serviceable addressable market, which is our SAM, is going to be 69,000, which we're condensing down to the Fresno County area, is going with average web development costs, comes out to about $345,000. Our market share that we're hoping to be able to get to is reaching out to about 900, getting a 5% conversion rate, which will give us 45, and that will give us a 0.07% market share, and that would normally come out with average web development costs to $225,000, but we're only going to be able to make 300 or $33,000-ish based off of what we have, and we got most of those numbers using the U.S. Census for the Fresno Fresno County, Gambler, which is a third-party site that goes off of federal data to collect small business data and other data from the federal government. So that way it's up to date, and we pulled these numbers from December time. And then Clutch.co was a website we used to gain an idea of the pricing from what we could tell from web developers. Our financial model, our operating costs, if we were to go all in and fully commit to it with a retail space of about $15,000, makes up that portion. Other operating costs would be phone lines and website, and also internet broadband, which comes out to around $4,000, and then other services fees like Cloud9 for us to be able to do our web development on, and potentially going to a QuickBooks using their online service in case we have to go that far and if we end up branching out, which adds in another $1,000, which brings us to around $21,000. And our revenue streams, we have the initial development cost with our graphic design coming in for our first year, if we were to go full out, to $35,000. Web development maintenance, basically those that want to stay with us and help build them up past that, potentially keep them updated. If they have to add things or remove things when they need to, we can help them do that. Comes out to about $562. Social media maintenance, basically if they want us to work with them for their social media, we can help them with that too. Coming out to $800. And that brings our projected first year revenue to about $37,000.
So the MVP type that our team thought would be best for our business is the concierge MVP. So as the name suggests, we will be going to one or two small businesses to start off and kind of giving them our service, just so that we can check and see what we're doing right, what we can definitely improve on, so that we can continue to expand to small business owners not only in the Fresno area but probably all throughout California. So the assumptions that we would need to test for this certain MVP is obviously the amount of small business owners that would actually want our service, along with the amount of time it takes us to complete each website that we work on. And to measure our success, we would need to know the quality of the feedback. If we're just getting like, yes, this is good, or no, this is bad, or if we're actually getting real advice that could help us move forward. We would need to see the amount of successful contracts and subscriptions we receive, and the amount of revenue that is generated from our service. And for our goals, currently, our main goal right now is actually to finish a website that we've been working on for a couple months. And from there, after we finish that, we might gain one or two more customers and continue to expand from there. So to implement our MVP, we would need to, we're obviously doing the door-to-door approach, which we talked about before. So we're going to be going to them in person, seeing if they want our service. If they do, we will consistently stay updated with them by doing in-person meetings, phone calls, and emails. And for the cost, we would need to pay $100 for a generic contract, which we can use an infinite amount of times, which would actually be provided by somebody that Jason knows. And then we need to pay $6 for hosting, and then $10 for domain registration for our own website.
And our website is currently being updated, and we're going to show it in different data.
So now time for questions.
How are you guys billing? How are you billing? How are you charging?
How are we billing? When we start fully going into it, for right now, while we're starting off with the MVP, we're doing it to where we'll be working, and then once the project is complete, we will take the payment as we hand off the actual code for the website and do that exchange. But once we start actually starting up the business, then we'll most likely demand either the payment to be somewhat upfront or to be fully upfront. We're unsure about this as of now, but you would most likely want to be able to take a little bit up front, so that way we can cover some of the costs and then continue on from there.